Welcome back to Entropia. This is Sturge with the second episode of Mining the Entropia universe, and I'm in the Arkadia system. You can see here the cool display of the Arkadia moon, where I am currently located. In the background, we can see the planet of Arkadia itself, and nestled within is the Arkadia Underground. And I'm going to start here on the Arkadia moon to talk a little bit about mining and some of the resources that are available, and especially what equipment to use and which equipment or skill levels provide the best results on the Arkadia moon. Then I'll move to the planet's surface, talk about planet Arkadia mining itself. Then we'll go into the underground and talk about mining in the Arkadia Underground. But first, I want to talk about why I'm beginning my trek here in the Arkadia system on the moon is because I want to pick up the free 2-pad in Universal Ammo from Chief Engineer Milo. So let's run over to Milo here, right at the Gamma portal, and chat with him and pick up that mission. If you haven't done this already, if you haven't picked up the hazmat suit, you could pick it up from Chief Engineer Milo. I've made another video, 2 videos in fact, the original and then the update on how to pick up the hazmat suit. All I'm going to do is pick up the daily. I'm not going to pick up the mining plan mission. That's for the hazmat suit. The daily one, the daily default plan just gets you the 2-pad in Universal Ammo. And then while I'm doing that, I'm going to mine a little bit along the way and talk about mining here, Planet Arkadia Moon. As always, straight to the wiki to see if we can discover what resources are available on the Arkadia Moon. And I would just look under source over here after doing materials and then looking up ore, and there aren't any. You can't see any of the sources as Arkadia Moon, which is disappointing. It just means the wiki hasn't been updated and players haven't had time. You can also try to search for Arkadia Moon, but it gives you nothing, so it's not really worth it. So the wiki really doesn't provide us with the information we need, and the Arkadia Forums don't either. The best that I've been able to come up with is looking for screenshots and watching streams and so forth. So just a quick look here, we can see that Platinum Stone is available, location up here on the top left. Not too bad there, nice little hit. Narconism, can't quite see the location for the Narconism, but that's okay, we know that's available as well. We've got some Gazerdite, you can see the location in the top right corner here. And then, of course, Listerium Stone. No location available, but you don't have to worry about that. It's all over the Arkadia Moon. That's a nice 23. That's a nice deal. And a tower there. That's great. And then here's a double hit, sort of central middle of Ironstone and Force Nexus. Crude oil is also available as an end matter, and so is Litarian Dust. So keep that in mind. So since it's really difficult to find a list of the resources available here on the Arkadia Moon, we're just going to talk about how to get to them. And the two most important factors are skill, your skill level, and I think you need to be, this is indoor mining, so you have to keep that in mind as well. This is indoor mining, the same as F.O.M.A or Hell, and you got to keep that in mind, that your skill level needs to be high, level 30 or better. Mining, prospecting, surveying, even treasure hunting, because treasure is available here on the Arkadia Moon. And depth is important. Depth probably is the bigger factor over skill, but skill is always going to be one of the key things here. So if you're not mining at a depth, hitting at like 700, 750, 800 meters, the chances of finding any resources here, even Listerium or crude oil, are really, really bad. So your hit rate is going to be tremendously low if you can't hit those. I'm using the TerraMaster 4 for my endeavors here, and in this run, as I'm doing the maintenance run, I only get one hit, and it's an 8 Listerium. So you can see that right here. Listerium medium, 797 meters in depth. That's about 25 ped improbes dropped overall, and I got back about 12 ped. So standard indoor mining type scenario here on the Arkadia Moon. The resources you pretty much have to discover for yourself. One last thing to mention is the Arkadia Moon is taxed 5% hunting tax and mining tax with a 2.5% shopping tax. I'm not sure where that applies to because I don't think there are any shops here. But like all indoor mining, this area is taxed. But this tax applies to the Arkadia Moon deed. This, of course, means good things for those of us who own the Arkadia Moon deeds. It means that they will be tradable upon the next version update. But as it stands, they're not quite tradable yet. But I really hope that the sellout actually means more content is going to be coming to the Arkadia Moon very soon. We can hope. Let's move on to the planet Arkadia itself and look at things down there. When first you come to planet Arkadia, you will actually go to the hangars. But I like to land at the Celeste Quarry because that's where I'm going to spend most of my time. Anyway, is the hub really the Celeste Quarry? But when you land at the Celeste Quarry, like I just have, you run straight forward, and you'll see that the quarry manager's office is up here. That's where you want to go. Off to the left here, you'll see the actual teleporter. But you want to come into the quarry manager's office, and you want to talk to this gentleman right off the left. His name is Clive Forrester. Clive Forrester is going to give you all the ACA mining point challenge missions. These are the equivalent of iron mining missions on other planets. There aren't a lot of them, but they do apply planet-wide. So they're definitely worth getting. Come pick these up, and then you can, when you're dropping bombs on this planet, you don't have to worry about getting credit because it'll all be there every time. And these go quite deep, and I think they're very, very worth getting right off the bat. To the best of my knowledge, these are the only mining missions in the Arkadia system. And I believe they only apply to Planet Arkadia and the Arkadia Underground. So, if anyone knows of other mining missions or other things on Arkadia Moon or the Underground, please let me know, but I'm pretty certain this is all there are for mining missions in the Arkadia system. As always, come to Little Big Mining Log and look at the mining map here. Planet Arkadia is broken into 9 areas, each with ore and matter, and then smattered in the end matter there is the treasure, but it's not very comprehensive. We're not seeing certain things in there, so keep that in mind when you're applying these maps to your treasure hunting on Planet Arkadia. Here at the mutation station, this is a player-owned area, and when you enter, you get a little bit of a notification that says there are some of these resources that are available, and these are sort of high markup. Gazerdite's good, zinc maybe not so much, but fracite is very high markup, and then azure pearls, devil's tail, and bismuth, obviously in capital letters there. Definitely for treasure, that's high markup stuff. But this is the only player-owned land area where you see that. You don't see it in the 8 coins area anymore. Not even in Sunkra Valley. I really wish more of the land area owners would actually include that, but they don't. Sometimes when I want to screw around a little bit on Arkadia itself, I mine here at the Celeste Quarry. I've actually had a really big Sontgel agent, 656 or 660 something head, or just over here where I'm running to. But you can see you have all these options. You have ore and matter and treasure that you can drop for, and that's if you drop for all 3 at the same time, it's 3 ped. So ped for ore, half a ped for end matter, and 1.5 PED for treasure. Now that's only if you're using like a standard finder, not any of the rookie finders, but like an F101 or the F series or any of the non-amp pre-amped finders. And look, there we go, found some magnesium. That's only 2 ped of the 3 ped that I dropped, so you can see it can get really expensive to triple drop for treasure, end matter, and ore simultaneously. But it could be fun too, because you can get the triple hit from time to time. The treasure is always a fun and interesting deal. There's some lodium fluid, which is planet specific, end matter. And let's go over here and see what else we can get our hands on if we get a little bit of luck. I think it's always fun to see a little bit of the mining on each and every planet to see what you can expect. And I'm triple dropping, so I really do intend to lose. Look at that right there. My Terramaster 4 is now Tier 2. So I can put another depth enhancer on that. There's some cobalt stone. That's obviously not specific to planet Arkadia. You can see the depths here, 777 meters. But I really would like to show you some treasure. All right, let's see if we can find a little treasure. So I can show you what the treasure marker looks like. And there we go. There's some Sontgil agent. And like I said, I got that big Hoff of Sontgil right here in this area. 269 meters. I think I got that with an F.O.M.A last time. So this is a Terra Master with a depth enhancer. So definitely treasure right here, Celeste Quarry. So there are all the icons, the ore on the far right, end matter in the middle, and treasure on the left. Those are the markers for each of those resources. And while the mining maps and Little Big Mining Log may not give you enough detail of a specific area, if you go out and explore a little bit, you'll find them all. And if you use good techniques and good recording, you will probably be able to find all that information again and those resources in the same areas in the future. Let's have a quick discussion about equipment. I think it very much depends. The finder that you use very much depends on the resource you're looking for. As I've already demonstrated, you can find some treasures at very shallow depths, below 300 meters, 290 some meters. But things like fracite you're going to find at 900 meters. And then bismuth, the 600-700, you can find it at 400 meters, but generally 600-700 meters. This would be a time to use Little Big Mining Log for your efforts. And I would say don't triple drop. If you're new to planet Arkadia, mining on planet Arkadia, I would say if you're going for a specific resource, go for that resource, knowing its sub-location within those 9 areas. Now, I'm using a Terramaster 4, and I'm just dropping for treasure and ore, because I want to see if I could hit bismuth or fracite out here. I should probably actually put on that other depth enhancer if I really want to go for fracite. Get over the 800 meter mark, and then I would have a better chance. But I'm just doing this sort of as an example so you can watch and see what happens. I think I get a zinc hit here in just a second. But the argument I'm going to make is that if you want specific resources, you've got to select your finder for those specific resources. That's the deal. So here's zinc at 700 meters, 694 meters. And if you want treasure, know your treasure and know the depth. And if you want end matter, see end matters are across the board. So be selective and think very carefully about which particular finder you're going to use and use it for that resource. The triple drop is fun, but I think it's probably better to just mine for a specific resource and not the triple drop. Maybe even the double drop. Go for something like bismuth, get it, and then move on to the next resource. And other than that, it's really just digging things up and refining them. We've covered that in previous videos, so no need to go into that detail. What we do need to go into now is the Arkadia Underground. Quick note about the Arkadia Underground. It is a taxed area. 5% hunting, 5% mining, and 2.5% for the shops that are down here. And that tax goes to the Arkadia Underground deed, which has been around for several years and is tradable among players. And from my understanding, I don't own any AUDs, but they are definitely worth owning, even at 71 ped per each. So that seems to be the going rate. Let's get to the mining. Okay, down in here in the Arkadia Underground, in the Hidden Falls area, and I'm going to do a little bit of mining. And I'm going to be using a Terramaster 4, my Terramaster 4 with 2 depth enhancers, so 851.7 meters. And I think that's just like scratching the surface of these resources. I think they're going to be deep, really deep down in here. But yeah, this is indoor mining, just like F.O.M.A, like we saw in the Arkadia Moon and Hell. Any place that has the indoor mining aspect to it, this is what you're going to see. Low hit rate. Nice thing is you can spawn vehicles down here, so if you want to mine in between the mobs, these are fairly aggressive mobs. If you want to kind of float around in between them, you can do so with your Sleipnir or whatever vehicle. But I think the most important things, again, just like on the Arkadia Moon, are going to be a high skill level, 30 plus mining, prospecting, surveying, and if you're going for treasure, certainly treasure as well. And a really good finder like the Terramaster 4 that can get you the depth that you need. Probably getting average of 900 to 1,000 meters here is pretty good. The hit rate is already really low. 5% would be, well, that's generous. But yeah, this is indoor mining. Let's take a look at the map of the Arkadia Underground. It actually gives you a pretty good idea of resources by location, and this can be found on the Arkadia Forum. Here we are. If you search for the Arkadia Forums or Planet Arcadia, you should get the forums. And here's a post by the Avatar Harmony, who's put together a map with 7 different areas and a little bit of detail of each what ores and matters and treasures are available in each area. This is really quite nice. That's a lot of work by one avatar. Harmony says at some point there's some contribution from other avatars, but down here at the bottom, if you click on this map, you can actually get a much better idea of what resources are by which area. The numbers don't correspond to the original map, but they do give you sort of a detailed, like up here at the top where at the falls area, I'm looking for Alfrex, Banite, or Gazerdite, and I do actually find Gazerdite up here in the top. So use this map to help you find the resources that you're looking for in the Arkadia Underground, maybe help contribute on the forums as well to fill in some of the holes. But you can thank this Avatar Harmony for the efforts in putting this together. Just give you an idea, it's about 15, 16 drops so far, and I finally get a Gazerdite hit. And that is an ample Gazerdite, so that falls right in line with the map that Harmony has provided. Gazerdite is available in this area. So I would say that 8, 9s, and 10s are probably the most common size of claim you will get down here without an amp. If you're just dropping 1 ped for ore specifically, this is an ample 9 Gazerdite, which turns out to be about 15.75 PED. Actually, it is 15.75 PED. I gotta hope I can get some more hits. Gazerdite doesn't have too bad a markup, but 766 meters in depth, so you see depth definitely plays a factor. Actually, I had a very limited amount of resources to utilize here, but I did get another hit, so I wasn't going to drop too many ped in probes. But sadly it's an average, so 7, but look at the depth there, 1029. So depth is a huge factor here. Luckily I had that second depth enhancer, so I was able to get it. I had a hard time getting up here and digging this up, but that's alright, we'll get it worked out one way or another. My overall return was 23.25 PED of 31 ped in probes drop. That's 75% return, and 2 hits out of 31 is 6.4% hit rate. So that gives you a pretty good feel for what you can do with a Terramaster 4 with 2 depth enhancers down here. This particular area, 6.4 seems pretty good. I'd say I was hoping that second hit would have been a little bit nicer, but it just didn't turn out to be the case. So that's a bummer, but I'm down to, I got 2 more drops here, so, and that doesn't amount to anything neither of them hit. So there you go. That's a pretty good return, 6.4% hit rate with 75% return. You gotta hope for markup down here, and that Gazerdite I don't think has enough to get me to profitability. So let's head over to the bar with Bartender Sturge and sort of wrap up this Arkadia mining series here in the Arkadia system. The Arkadia Moon, much like the Arkadia Underground, is for level 30 plus in mining, prospecting, surveying, and treasure avatars. I'm too low level, really, to be of any value doing this. It's always going to be a loss for me. But the Arkadia surface can be really rewarding if you know specifically what you're looking for. And you kind of have to do a little bit of your own exploration and mapping of the Arkadia planet's surface. But once you find your bismuth locations and your fracite locations and your Wenrex locations, you're going to start to be able to be profitable with a markup from those ores, treasures. And then you get the end matter if you can find some cave sap, certainly. There are fire root globules and pyrite in the PvP area. Always watch out for Vandal Hand. When he's in there, he's streaming usually, so you can see him coming. And don't get looted while in the PvP zone. That wraps up the Arkadia system, and I hope that was helpful and refreshing information, since there's some new information. And hopefully the Arkadia Moon will show us new content soon, and we'll get better mining maps and better resources and turn a profit in future endeavors mining on planet Arkadia. Thank you all for watching, and everyone for subscribing and commenting in advance. This is Sturge, signing off. Ciao for now.